G'day fellow cartographers, it's Joe Sweeney here from StoryWeaver Games, and I'm going to show you how to get the most out of the brand new Campaign Cartographer 3 Plus software. Now, Campaign Cartographer has been around for donkey's years. It's a really wonderful, proven program, but it's very powerful and there's a lot to it. So in this training program, I'm going to start by showing you the basics of the new environment, and then we're going to actually get stuck straight in and create a beautiful island map. And I'd like you to work through this with me as we go through. So at certain points in the videos, we're going to stop. I'd like you to go off and do some work on your own and then come back. Right, so let's get stuck straight into it. First of all, I'm going to show you what is on the new Campaign Cartographer 3 Plus interface. It's really important that you get to know this interface intimately. Now, the obvious area is this big area in the middle here. This is your work area. When you are creating a new map, you can create what they call a view inside this work area. It's like a window that looks into a portion of your map. And by default, you get one view of the map and it fills the whole area. It is possible to create multiple views into the same map so you can focus on detail while seeing the map as a whole or whatever. I very rarely find a use for that. I typically just work all in one view at one time, but it is up to you how you'd like to work. Now, up across the top here, you've obviously got your standard menu. You've got a file menu with all the standard file sort of menu functions. But the other controls that would give you a lot of power here are things such as the draw control, which gives you full access to a vast array of drawing capabilities all in behind here. The real nitty-gritty drawing functions that are within Campaign Cartographer. And this menu here shows more than anything else the origins of Campaign Cartographer. It's not a Photoshop, it's not a bitmap, it's not a painting program. It's a computer-aided design. It's a proper CAD environment. Under the hood, it really is a CAD environment. So you need to get your head around that. This menu here is also used quite commonly if you are going to customize your maps and create your own symbol sets. That's quite an advanced feature. We'll talk about that in other tutorials. Now along here, you've got a set of tools that we call the drawing tools. And that will allow you to very quickly, depending on what sort of map you're working on, it allows you to very quickly add things to your map that make sense. So you could add a landmass. If you're drawing an overland map, you could add roads, etc. And what these do is they reset a whole bunch of settings in the Campaign Cartographer environment and just allow you to draw, just get on with the job. So you'll be using these a lot. This section of buttons here is helps you to manipulate what's already on the map. So you can copy things, copy and move things, rotate things, and so forth. Down here in this little section, you've got some controls that let you get even more fine-grained editing of specific nodes or points on your map. So if you've got a line that's made up of several different points, you can use this little function here to drag a point and that line will move, or all the elements in that line will move. Over the other side of the map here, you've got your view features. This lets you review your map, zoom in on things. I'll give you an example. If I just wanted to zoom in on the Campaign Cartographer logo there, I could do that. If you want to zoom all the way back out again, you would use that. The other thing that happens with Campaign Cartographer is often you'll remove things or move things around, and you might get some parts of the screen that are not refreshed or redrawn. And Campaign Cartographer does that because some maps, especially the ones I work on, can be incredibly complex and it can take a while to redraw them. Although Campaign Cartographer 3 Plus is at least twice as fast as the older software. To refresh the screen, you push this button here. Now over here, you've got a set of commands that will allow you to move things forward and backwards in the map. And then you've got a whole bunch of drawing tools down here. This lets you, for example, add a path to your map or add a curved line. You can add text to your map and so forth. And these functions here, they're a little difficult to explain. They're modifiers. So if you're drawing a line and you want it to match perfectly onto the end of another line or maybe halfway down a curve, you would use these tools here. This section here is your symbol library. So whatever sort of map that you've got loaded in, you would have a different set of symbols here. And you can change what's in those library by clicking on these buttons. For example, if I click on the mountains, we'll get mountains. If I click on the houses, I'll get houses, well, structures to be precise. Um, those libraries and what you see across here and what these tools are here are all defined by what plugins, if you want to call them that, you are using. Now, out of the box, you'll have the map overview. That's really for overland maps. It's what comes with Campaign Cartographer right out of the box. But you can buy the Dungeon Designer add-on. You can buy the City Designer add-on. There's a space science fiction add-on called Cosmographer, and so forth. These add-ons, if you're not using them and you are doing any, dungeon mapping, you're nuts. I've got tutorials that talk explicitly about quite a few of those products. Oh, I nearly forgot two really important areas of the screen, of the work area. We've got the command line down here, and again, this shows the roots of Campaign Cartographer as a CAD program. You can actually create macros or scripts that run within Campaign Cartographer that automate a whole bunch of mapping activities. And this is not only important for speed, but also for consistency in your mapping. Really, really useful area. You can also use the command line here to fine tune exactly where things go on your map. Over here, you've got some buttons that allow you to affect how things get placed on the map. You have got the option of showing a grid and setting a grid in real world map units. So if you're mapping in miles, you can set your grid in miles and feet and so forth. And then you've got an option to snap, which would use the grid settings to make sure that your cursor only snaps to certain portions on the map and so forth. So very, very important little functions down there. Let's not forget those. So look, that's it. That's a lot of time spent on just talking about the interface, but it's really important. Now, what I want you to do now is have a quick break, fire up Campaign Cartographer, click on some of those buttons, just get to know what's where. It's really important that you understand your work environment because you're going to be speeding around this work environment really quickly. And the more that you natively know how to go to certain areas, the faster your mapping will be. So I'll see you back here in about 5 minutes.